Kelsey, obviously the comeback will get a lot of attention, but for a lot of the game, you guys were down, 5 to 10-ish. Why couldn't you guys quite keep up with what they were doing tonight?
I think discipline. You always ask us questions. You always hear me say being consistent in our discipline. And today we failed miserably as a group because there were certain things set in stone for us to do to be effective from quarter one to quarter four. And you guys didn't see what it was supposed to look like till quarter 3.5 going into 4. So it kind of just lies on that discipline right now.
What are some of the biggest aspects of the game you felt like the discipline was missing? And like from us, it looked like rim defense in the first half, for example. But what to you did you see?
Awareness, knowing personnel. I don't know if you guys know what that means, but when it comes to the schemes defensively and knowing what certain players need to be defended, this is what we got to do. Whether it's Leash Gray pushing right, Brian Howard pushing left, just certain stuff that we have to hone in on to be successful, especially when you have 6'8" in the paint. There's only so much that can happen at that junction of the game.
I mean, you were just kind of touching on it, but in that fourth quarter then, I guess what was the difference for you guys to finally kind of get yourself back into the game?
I think, like I said, discipline is one thing, and then on top of that, being able to withstand and withhold runs. I think that we dug ourselves in a huge hole, and you guys saw ourselves trying to get out of it, and I think kind of bit us in the tail a little bit. And I think for us, I'm going from tonight to Thursday, we're gonna have to get on top of things right now. So, quick one to think about, but we gotta play them again on Thursday, so y'all know how that go.
There were 10 missed free throws in the game, and I think 5 in the fourth quarter. Just how does that play into the discipline that you talked about?
I kid you not. This is one of the hardest working groups I've ever seen. From working on a game outside of this, it happens. It's a part of being a professional athlete. It comes with the territory. Some nights is good and some nights is bad. Do I want us to make them? Yeah. Do they want to make them? Yeah. But I think that's a part of the game. We can't hang our hats on those missed free throws. However, as a professional athlete, it's important and imperative that we do have them. So we know the importance of it.
Kelsey, what do you think just defensively? I mean, you said discipline, but what specifically stood out to you about maybe not staying as attached as you want to?
Oh, man, like I said, when it came to personnel and knowing who we needed to guard, there were certain things set in stone and set in place to do, and we didn't, keep people on certain sides of the floor, digging them, Brittany Griner, that's 6'8". It's only so much Aaliyah Boston and Tasha Howard can do, so it's just being a better guard and helping our post when we needed to be effective at. It sounds small, but the small things make big things, and that's why we didn't win. And so I think that this is a learning experience and a learning curve for all of us, especially when you're trying to win games, and like Game 6s or Game 7s.
Kelsey, what did it take to get you out of that rut?
I think a combination of leadership, competitiveness, and the will just not want to lose. We hang our hats on making these fans, be proud of us. And the way we started the game and the energy being low, it kind of just put us in the low. And I think that once you saw us really tap into, who the Fever is and our identity, you guys were able to see down the stretch what it looked like. I just, at this junction of our career, we can't wait until third quarter to want to be that team. And I just, like I said, that's a learning point for us now. We're gonna go get it. Go get it now.
How impactful do you feel like that choppy start was, just as the game as a whole? Like there was no flow, nobody had any pace.
It was ugly, man. It felt ugly, so I know it looked ugly to you guys. And I think that, for one, we have to give ourselves some grace. We just started this thing less than 2 or 3 months ago, and so I think it's just a learning curve as far as seeing what people need and where we need to be most effective. But because it was choppy, I think that we could have handled it better. I think that our lows were too low. I don't know if that makes sense, but they can't be that low. We don't have that margin of error. And like I said, we got bit in the butt for it today.
What do you think was just the difference in, I guess, the up and downs of the defense throughout the game? Obviously 13 points in the second quarter and 15 in the fourth quarter, but then unevenness all around.
I didn't think we were disruptive at all. I felt like we let them move the ball wherever they wanted to. We had a lot of breakdowns in our coverages. We weren't really helping one another out. We played like 5 individuals defensively at times instead of collectively as a unit. And good teams take advantage of that. Atlanta was really good at getting downhill. They knocked down some tough shots, but when you dig yourself a hole, it makes it really difficult to use all your energy to come back.
given that you did get in that hole, in fact, you were down by like 9 with 4 minutes to go, it seemed like it was still right there to be taken. And that must be encouraging in itself.
It is. I mean, I told our team to start, like, I'm proud of our fight, the toughness that we showed, our ability to stay together. Our bench was really engaged in every timeout and in every huddle. We were all engaged, and yes, that's a moral victory, so to speak, I suppose. But at the same time, you got to be ready to go every game in this league. Teams are too good. It's a long season. We're going to continue to grow. We've still got to figure out how to get all 5 players on the floor on the same page on both ends of the floor. We're pretty disjointed sometimes offensively, just as much as we are defensively. And anytime you give up 30-point quarters and put somebody to the line 32 times, I mean, it's going to make it really, really tough to win.
How disruptive were that first half, the choppy waters, the stoppages like Caitlin was talking about, and you guys never really were able to get in the pace like you've been talking about?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's every coach's frustration when you have to use challenges on out of bounds plays. I mean, it is what it is. But for teams to win 3 challenges in the first half, I don't know that I've ever seen that either. It's tough. But at the same time, for us, it started with our energy and on the defensive end of the floor. We were flat to start. We dug ourselves a hole. We didn't take care of the ball. We didn't handle their physicality. I mean, that's going to be the MO against us all year long. Teams are going to be physical. They're gonna push us. They're gonna shove us. They're gonna hold us. They're gonna do whatever they're allowed to get away with. And we have to figure out how to use that physicality against them. That's how I play us, right? We have to figure out how to use that physicality against them and get a little bit better in those areas. I thought AB was outstanding. She battled, for 36, almost 37 minutes. And BG and Bree Jones are 2 of the best bigs in our league. I thought she did an outstanding job, and we got to learn and grow from it.
Just going into that last possession, just what did you like about the play with Natasha and just her look?
Yeah, I mean, initially we're trying to get the ball to AB, but she was being chucked, so she couldn't get there. She had a good read. I mean, Tosh was open. We probably should have called timeout in that situation, but I felt like Tosh was due, right? She had a good look. She had 2 good looks, and that's really all you can ask for in that situation.
You've coached Dewana for years. You go with shorter stints for her in this game. Is that kind of a plan you have for her rotationally this year? And how do you plan to, if you can, get her more involved? I think she only took 1 shot today.
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, it's trying to figure out what's the best way to get DB involved. It's fast. Kelsey and AB and Caitlin have played together, so they have this synergy. And really with DB and with Tosh, like how we bring them into the fold, so to speak. And that's a challenge that we're looking into. We're trying to figure out, shorter stints because it was an up and down game, right? And I felt like Kels, Caitlin, and Lexi were giving us really good stuff, on both ends of the floor. And it's tough when you feel like you're starting to get some momentum to sub. I probably should have subbed a little bit more in that second half. But like the group that was out there.